Good morning and welcome back to Art Smart. Do you guys like my obnoxious Orioles shirt? I love it. It was given to me at the ballpark. Someone's got to celebrate the Orioles because I don't actually. There's really no good reason to celebrate them right now. They're terrible, but I at least have to support them, I guess. Anyway, today we're talking about Courage the Cowardly Dog. I picked this up from my local library, and by the way, drop by your library, pick up these free things, guys. Go to the library; it's free. Watch cartoons; it's great. Courage the Cowardly Dog is a show that I used to watch quite a bit as a wkid. I enjoyed it, and it's what's interesting about Courage is that it's something that I enjoyed even though I'm not a big horror movie fan. This definitely has a lot of influence from horror movies or a lot of kind of spooky thrillers, that kind of thing. It's a huge influence on the show, but it definitely wasn't something that I've ever really enjoyed. But what I think I liked about Courage and continue to like as an adult is the fact that it's just different. It's a very different kind of show. It's surreal. It's basically a series of different kind of what things can happen to this family of elder couple with ghosts and goblins and creepy villains and all kinds of supernatural things kind of coming and attacking them, and Courage saving them in each episode. So it's very, very different from anything else that you'd be watching on TV. And so I think that's really the major plus here. The writing also is relatively imaginative, as they came up with all kinds of different, but still somehow slightly plausible scenarios for this family to go through as they're being attacked in each episode, and Courage saves them. So I think this is a really interesting show. It is different from anything else that you're going to see on cartoons back then and in cartoons now. However, there are some major criticisms that I would have for this. And the first thing is, unfortunately, it's just not something that I really enjoy watching one after another because it's very repetitive. It's always somebody is attacking the elderly couple, and Courage gets freaked out, goes, ah, and then finds a way to save them in every episode. Now, all children's cartoons are pretty repetitive, but this one is as locked in as formula can possibly get. While they do find interesting ways to change it up in each episode for Courage to find a different way to save them, and of course each time the supernatural being is interesting in and of itself, it is very repetitive. So this is definitely a DVD. If you pick it up, I would maybe watch it like one episode at a time and give yourself a little bit of time to kind of refresh yourself in between episodes, because it can get kind of mind-numbing. I do think that if I was a kid, I would have enjoyed this, and in fact, I think I even did enjoy this as a palate cleanser in and of itself, though. If you were just watching one episode a week with all the other kind of cartoons that were very repetitive and funny cartoon animals, I think this would have been a good palate cleanser as a kid, and it was only once a week. But with the DVD, you can watch it every single day, and I just don't necessarily recommend doing that. I don't recommend you sitting there and watching several of these in a row. It would get pretty mind-numbing. Another criticism that I have of this show is I really think that it would have benefited from being a show that was a little bit more independent artsy. And when I say that, what I mean is they have to cut corners because of the fact that this is a television show on regular TV, and they have a relatively limited budget. Courage almost always reacts the same way with the same kind of animation of him being fearful, and they have to cut corners, such as occasionally Courage for the most part is a silent dog, but every now and then when he's supposed to be processing his idea of how he's going to save the family, he starts talking, and it doesn't really work. The voice, I don't think, works very well, and the dog suddenly talking after being silent through most of the cartoon is somewhat of a jarring break. And really, I think that's just done for expositional purposes, and the fact that they have to save animation and not have to do quite so much pantomime. And so it's much easier for them to animate his lips talking as he gives you the information that you need. So I do think that if this was done independent, they could have done more pantomime, which I think would have matched the style a bit better, and if it could stretch longer if they wanted to, so that they could use more pantomime. I really think that would have helped and make it a little bit stronger. But for what it is, a Saturday morning cartoon which has a repetitive plot but still relatively well-written plot, I think they do a pretty good job. I can put aside the whole him talking every now and then thing and just kind of look at the overall feel of the cartoon. And they have definitely a spooky but still fun feel. And so I would recommend this. I wouldn't spend a ton on it. You know, if you can find it for like $20 or something, go ahead and do it. But I would recommend watching these slowly and not binging them at all. Just to show you a brief picture of the front. This is season 1, by the way. Here's the back. And I'll bring it a little closer so that you can maybe get a screenshot of the different cartoons if you want to see. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Maybe that'll do it. Anyway, hopefully this makes you a little bit more art smart. You'll watch some cartoons and watch these. They're really not that bad. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.